everyone, it is time for making the next part of the Wonderland series outfit, the chemise. So, I'm going to get right into it, skip the lengthy intro. The pattern I'm going to be making the chemise out of is from Folkwear, which sells some historical patterns online. I will have a link to this exact pattern below, and if you want to check out the site, it's really cool. They have some great patterns. This one was only this much money, I can't remember the amount, and it was a really good price, really good deal. It came with some history on chemises, the directions on how to monogram it, the basic directions that you'd find in any pattern for how to actually make the chemise, how to lay it out and everything. Simple things like you'd find in simplicity patterns. And then of course the tissue paper with the pattern on it. I have to say, it feels like it's a little bit better quality than the commercial patterns that you find in the pattern section of Hobby Lobby. But who knows, I could rip this in like 2 seconds still, so I'm not going to say it's amazing, but it's pretty good. So let's get into it. Let me show you the directions and everything in closer detail, and we'll just start making the actual chemise. Now to look at the pattern in a little more detail. Sorry it's ripped, I'm incompetent. We start with the brief history of the lady's chemise, then how to embroider the monogram. And then you of course have the basic directions, also ripped. And it's important to note that I am actually making view A of the chemise instead of view B. The only difference is that this one falls a little farther off the shoulder, which will work better for the Wonderland outfit. And then we of course have the tissue paper pattern. So I'm going to start cutting the pieces out, and let's get right into it. Alright, let's get to cutting the pattern. I am wearing pants for this, by the way, because since I'm cutting it on the floor and I have to kind of like crawl over it and stuff, I don't want the skirt to be dragging the pattern here, there, and everywhere. So that is why I am not very aesthetic today. But you know what? Screw aesthetics. I'm not burning that banner, and I never will be. So it turns out there are 2 separate sheets of paper, one for pattern A and one for pattern B. I have just unfolded the one for pattern B, which is not the pattern I'm using. It's a good day, folks. Got myself some muslin, and now it's time to start cutting. What we need is neckline beading, cut 1 unfold of eyelet. So we need that sort of trim that has the little holes in it where you thread the ribbon, because that is what the ribbon is threaded through to make the neckline and the little sleeves. So I purchased some on Etsy. I will also link the seller and stuff. And we're going to wait for that. It's going to come in 4 to 13 days. So I'm definitely going to have to work on another project while I'm working on this. But in the meantime, I am just going to keep on cutting everything out, and we'll do as much as we can while not having the trim. I don't have enough fabric. We're gonna have to take a trip to the fabric store and come on back. Alright, it is admittedly quite a few days later, but I do have the fabric, and I have the eyelet ribbon, which I will show you now. Look, it has the space for ribbons, and it has the little flowers, just like the pattern. So now what we're going to do is just cut everything out, and we'll finally get to sewing. Alright, next step is to transfer the pleat lines onto the fabric. So I'm just going to be taking a friction pen and drawing the lines, or, a dot here and a dot up there, and a dot here and a dot right there. And then we'll just be folding them over and ironing them. Okay, so we have the top of the front and the top of the back pleated. Now the next step is to go ahead and put these basting seams here and down here. Alrighty, it is all basted, so now the next step is to fold this over and then take the template for the neckline, match it up. That doesn't match at all. Let's see if we can match that up a little bit. That's a little better. It's only because the pleats are out here that it doesn't look quite right there. But basically you're just going to cut along the top until it has that curve like the little template. And then we'll be able to start with the rest of the project and finally be done with this whole pleating business. Next step is to put the right sides together for the front and back of the chemise, and then take this sleeve C piece and then put it between those two and sew along the top edges. Right, so here I have the front. This is the right side of the front, and this is the right side of the back, and they're just sandwiched together, but in between them, on each side, there's going to be one of the sleeve C pieces, and it's going to have this side sewn along to the top of this side, and then it's going to be this side sewn to the top of this side right here. And then when it folds out, it'll have a little side, piece like that. Now the next step is to add these little facing pieces onto the seams here. So the way I understand this is you're going to take the piece, line it up to the top and the bottom, and then sew it onto the seam, and then you're going to flip it over, flip that edge in, and then sew a line up, encasing the raw edge and giving it some extra support. So yeah, and then I'll show you what it looks like when I get back. Okay, so super duper off topic, but I thought since this video is getting kind of monotonous, I would stop right here and show you guys my favorite cardigan. So here it is in all its glory. It is absolutely gorgeous. I got it from Shein, and I know it's probably like a big fast fashion thing, but I promise I'm going to keep this for forever and wear it as long as possible, and I will try to with all my might to fix it if it ever gets broken. And I just love it so much, and I went to an antique store and I found a box of buttons, and I stuck them all on here, and they're super cute and super funny. And also now whenever I go out, if someone has a button, they try to give it to me so that I'll wear it, and I think that's super cute and I absolutely love it. So that's all I have to say now. Just take a look. It is super cute. It says hippie on the side. I don't really know why, but hey, that's fine. So let's get back to the chemise. Alright, here it is. We have our little side reinforcements right here, and then there are two on the other sides. Now, next step. Let's look around here. And now I have to sew the sides together. Sides seamed. Now, next step is to run some gathering stitches along these two sides of the neckline. So you have the sleeve side and you have the little neckline part. Now you're going to gather the neckline part until it fits the size of the neck band here. And then, although it doesn't tell you to, because you can see here, it just has a raw edge right there. I do want to quickly just do a very tiny hem on the side of this so that there's not these frayed edges of the gather. So first step is going to be to hem up the side here, and then we're going to see some footage of me gathering the top and the sleeve side. Okay guys, so I have an update and a quick confession. So I was trying to fold over, and hem around the sleeve edge, and I didn't have enough room. There just wasn't enough space there to hem it. So I decided to use an overlock machine. And I know this is a little weird, like to use an overlock machine on a chemise from the 1890s, 1860s, somewhere around there. But it was really the best option to make sure everything had a good finished edge, because I do want this to last as long as possible, because it's hopefully going to be a project for like my portfolio, and I want it to be complete and finished and have a very finished look. And I was initially going to do that, with like French seams and felling and all that fun stuff. But after I had serged around the edge of the sleeve, I thought, well, I've gone this far, why don't I just serge everything else, considering it would be a little weird, like, oh, I only use the serger on this very specific part, but the rest of it's all done by hand. Like, I don't know, it just didn't feel like it was necessary to do everything else by hand or with the regular sewing machine. So, yeah, I hope no one gets mad at me. I mean, only like 10 people are gonna watch this video, so really, who's there to get mad at me? But I did want to put a quick confession there. Want to make sure everybody knew, so you didn't just like see somewhere in the video, oh hey, there's overlocking there, why didn't she say anything? But yeah, that is that. But hey, let's get back to what's actually going on right now. So what I've done, as you can see, overlocked the edges here, and now we have the basting stitches along the top edge here and this edge. So now these are just going to be gathered in. I'm going to gather these first, or it's just these and these, there's nothing here. I'm going to gather these two sides first, and so that I can put in the eyelet. Hold on, I have it right here. Yes, here's the eyelet stuff. So I'm just going to gather this in until it fits to the width of the eyelet thing, and then I'm going to sew this, the two sides of this together in order to make one complete loop, and then I'll get back to you. Alright, now we have the eyelet trim and the lace on. I'm sorry I didn't talk about the lace, but basically I just put the lace on top of the other side of the ribbon, and then I sewed it together. Well, actually I have two layers of the ribbon here, and I just sandwich it in between those two. But really, nothing very special. So now the whole top is done, and all that's left is to gather the top of the side of the sleeves and then put the eyelet ribbon and the lace on that. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to sew the lace to the top of the eyelet ribbon, and then I will just sew it on to the gathered sleeve. And here we are. Look at it in all its glory. It's absolutely gorgeous. We have little tie ribbons. We have the seaming. We have little puffed sleeves. And this falls perfectly off the shoulder. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'll try to get a view a little farther away so you guys can kind of see how the whole thing looks. here it is, a bit farther away. All its glory. Look how beautiful. It is absolutely gorgeous. It's wonderful. I love everything about it, and I'm so grateful to Folklore Patterns for releasing this pattern. Not a ad, that sounded like an ad, but really, just, it's gorgeous. So you're just gonna watch me twirl around in it for another 30 seconds or so, and then we'll close off the video. Alright, this is the end of the video. So I hope you all enjoyed seeing me twirl around in a gorgeous chemise, and maybe you'll want to make one yourself too, considering it is absolutely gorgeous, and I think everybody needs one in their closet as soon as possible. And I cannot wait to continue with the rest of the items in the Alice in Wonderland series dress. I believe next we already have our chemise, drawers, and stockings. So we're going to start working on the corset. Or, no, it was called a corset by that time period. So I really hope that you stay tuned. I also have another project in the makings that has to do with Beauty and the Beast. So maybe you'll be interested in that too. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you can stay tuned for other videos. And really, just have a great day, and stay crafting, stay creative, and stay a good person. That's important too. Well, thank you. That's all for now.